Well, let's take a look at the upcoming patch, and of course I will do a bunch of beta, brita content. So if you want to see that, just feel free to subscribe, and I bet you won't regret watching this video, because there's some really crazy stuff in here that you might not consider at first glance. So let's talk about the obvious stuff. Contains 5 new achievements, 1 bonus stage, yay, that's always good. I wonder if it's something exciting. I mean, so far it was always very interesting. I would just like to see something different, you know? We have challenging bonus stages, we have Ilmolis, whatever the point of that is now, and stuff like this, right? I just want to see something a bit different. 1 relic to access 2 minor gameplay mechanics. I think the last time it said that it added the hurry mode, if I'm not mistaken. And I would love to see a mode that just doubles everything. Everything. Like, double the monster spawning and stuff like this, right? That is way more exciting than just, okay, time passes twice the amount, right? Like, it's like, okay. Like, I don't want to play it. I feel bad playing it because I know I will end up worse than I would without hurry mode. I don't enjoy that. I actually think 30 minutes is a really good time window for the game. I wouldn't mind 15 minutes at all for personal play, right? Like for YouTube, 30 minutes is perfect, that's how long my videos are, with cuts in between, it's around 20 to 30 minutes, that's really good. But for personal play, I would just like everything doubled, 15 minutes, have some fun. 2 new Arcanas, amazing. So, I gotta give credit to the developer. So far, his Arcana were amazing. And now you might say, oh wow, yeah, and here's 3 of them that just do the same stuff, you know, just with different stats, and bouncing is in there 2 times, and yeah, but like, you have to come up with these ideas, right? And in a very timely fashion. He pumps out these updates really quickly, and I gotta say, the Arcana were really good. Especially, like, take the Gold Fever, right? The Gold Arcana. His thought process must have been something like, I want to do something with gold, right? So, you start at that point. You don't look at the Arcana how it is right now and you say, oh, this should have been different, this is how it could be done and stuff like this. No. You start at point blank, 0. You just know you want to do something with gold. And then you have to formulate an idea that is interesting and exciting. And I gotta say, the Gold Fever is amazing. Now, we know the backstory of the developer is something with casino related. I don't know if it was gaming or actual casino or developer, so I heard different things. Like, some people said he worked in a casino, other people said he made games for a gambling casino or so. But the nature is shown, right? Which is actually amazing, because nothing in this game is addicting in a bad way where you would spend money. That is amazing. But point is, right, it's done in a very amazing way. The entire idea with refilling the bar by whatever amount of gold you pick up. So if you pick up just a gold coin, it's just a little bit. If you pick up gold bags, it's a lot more. The trigger with the gold bags, it works amazingly well with the bone zone, so you can earn a ton of money, right? Like in the one video after the nerf, I still got 170k, that is insane, in a single run. And even simple stuff like the stone mask affects it, right? The stone mask is shown as one of the things affected by it, and because you get more gold, it refills more. That's amazing. So I'm really curious to see what Arcana come in. Like, I don't want to hype it up too much and say, oh, I expect the game-changing thing, and then it's just like duration, you know, an increase and decrease stance, just like with area. But the area one is even still amazing, so I wouldn't mind seeing that. I would also love seeing something entirely new, but I would not be, I would not feel let down if it was, yeah, it's negative 20% CDR and plus 10%, something like this, you know, bouncing in the 10-second range. So 1 more rank for the skip power up. That is actually 2 ranks, or no, it's 2 skips that you get out of that, since they are doubled. Now let's talk about the tweaks, and these are very interesting. Half base duration of Shadow Pino and Valkyrie Tuner. Now, I have no idea what these mean as a reference, and this might just be a typo, you know, but both of them typed wrong. I think that might be what it actually references to. Let me know, guys, especially the Italians, you always know the stuff for some reason. No, I think this time it's something else, right? But whatever, half duration sounds really bad, and that is a tail that you create, that you fart out while you walk. Now, why was this done? Let's read the next line. Shadow Pinion and Valkyrie Turner striking attack has it, so whenever you stop walking, right, and it's like whoosh, shoots out way too loud, I hope that gets reduced. Has a damage bonus depending on how long it has been charged. So depending on how long it was out, that means you start walking, and once they start disappearing, you want to fire them off, I assume at least. We have no damage numbers here, and then they deal bonus damage. That is insane. My assumption is 10% per second out. that is something that sounds decent, right? So if you have a 5-second duration, that's a 50% increase. Could be a bit hard to really utilize this in a good way that it helps it enough to be a decent weapon, but it sounds interesting, right? It's a good approach. The Arcana 19, Heart of Fire, also affects Valkyrie Turner's striking attack. Insane. This will bump up this weapon from completely useless or way too annoying to use into something that is really good. This Arcana brought back Hellfire from, oh, I can't use anything else but I have spinach, so I need Hellfire now, like, you know, in record runs, to that thing is a staple. You always go for that because it's that good. There's a counter build, you know, with crit and stuff like this, with knives, but it's pretty much Hellfire took over from one of the not so good evolutions. Okay, it's not the worst one, not so good, to insanely good. And we will probably see a similar effect with Valkyrie. However, it's still Valkyrie, right? I will not like it, I will not play it because I have to do it manually, but it's still fun. What I would actually love to see is a way that whenever it's maxed out, whenever they start disappearing, you know, that's the maximum distance that you reach, it just automatically fires. Okay, and that makes sense, right? I think that would be very nice. It takes away from the manual work, but you could still stop walking and just shoot it manually, right? I'm not so sure. It would also take away from timing things, but to be honest, how much do you time with this weapon really? Except for the rare occasions where you fire it all into a boss. So I would say that would be a nice improvement overall, just that it automatically fires whenever they start disappearing, and nothing changes anymore damage-wise. Every bonus point in armor now also increases retaliatory damage by 10%. I butchered that, I know. Okay. Hear me out. As far as I know, and I might be wrong with this, there are 2 of these effects in the game. One, that is no future, right? Retaliates, so whenever you get hit, it damages the enemy. 2, Hellfire. Now, I don't know if this will apply to Hellfire, but Hellfire is already known to be an insanely high damaging weapons, right? Like, what does it, 200 damage or so? Now, I want to make a simple calculation with you. If this has 200 damage, Hellfire, right? Hellfire has 200 damage, and we assume the retaliatory sorry, damage is equal to that, and it counts as 1, otherwise we would have to do it with the no future numbers, then you have, with Awake, with the armor, with, what is the other one? Yeah, with the base armor that you have, the power-ups, right? You would get a total of 14 armor, and that means you have an increase of 140%. So it's 200 times 2.4, that is 480 damage that you do whenever something touches you. Now let's do a little calculation, okay? So Toasty does get the 65,534 armor. Once you are maxed out and you got all the Wake, Tiragisu and stuff like this bonus. This is how you currently kill the Reaper. But let's take a look at Hellfire and No Future, right? Let's assume we have both of them, and let's assume both count as retaliation. And Hellfire has around 200 damage, I don't know the actual numbers, let's just say it's 200. And No Future has 50, okay? So we combine them together because we have both of the weapons, why shouldn't we have that? Times, and to get to the multiplicator that we use here, all we have to do is just remove 1 digit. Since it's 10%, so if you remove it by 1 digit, 10 times 10 is 100, right? So that's all we have to do. This is the amount of damage you'll deal around you in retaliation every single time you get hit, okay? Every single time. Now, I don't know exactly how many times you get hit per second, it's less than 8, but I would say it's around 5, right? Like, when you get hit quite frequently. So we can assume this is a damage that you dash out per second if retaliation has no cooldown on it. And as far as I remember, it doesn't really have one. Like, the cooldown is your invulnerability frames. You don't just instantly die, there is a certain amount of invulnerability, but this is pretty much the case here, right? So 8 million. Now, if you multiply this with a single second, this is how long one Reaper will be around before another one appears. That is the damage that you do. That is the damage that you do. Now, remember this value, right? This is 500 million. If we multiply the health of the Reaper with the expected level of around 200, this is his HP. You'll kill the Reaper faster than they spawn. you'll kill them 5 times faster nearly than they spawn. That is absolutely insane. So I'm really curious to see how this will play out. This sounds absolutely bonkers. And that will give validity again to Toasty. And this will pretty much put Toasty again in the #1 spot of by far being the best Reaper killing character in the game. Current Toasty has some issues where you get so much lag that you barely hit anymore per second. So all the damage that you would do with Gatia Mari, you know, it attacks 33 times a second, is tuned down to pretty much just 1 or 2 times because of lag, and then it just takes a couple thousand minutes probably, if you get really bad lag. But yeah, this will just put it back. If all of the assumptions are true, this is insane. Music and music mods can now be previewed in stage selection screen. I'm not sure what this means. Like, I'm really not sure what this means, because isn't that where it is already? That you can select it there? I probably misunderstand something. But we'll see that. Oh, you can play it, I assume. You can play it and listen to it, and then you know what it sounds like. Okay, I like that, that's good. So, now also some juicy stuff. Due to the amount of work needed to improve on the save data issues with Mac and Steam Cloud, and also for the future patch 0.7, patch 0.6.0, this is the current one, will have less content than usual. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but I also hope you have fun with the new little mechanics added in this patch. Now, I want to say something generally speaking here, and I say this every single time. Why is the beta, Brita coming out 1 to 2 days before the live version? Especially, the developer is fully aware that the Arcana have a huge impact on the game, and there are a lot of things happening with every single patch. This should take a bit longer. I'm not saying a week, like I'm saying give it at least 3 days, okay? Most of these issues could have been known before they went live if this just had a bit more time than these few days. The main issue is here, Mac is pretty much, you know, it's a minor user base in comparison, and I don't even think they can really participate in the beta that much, so just provide that option. That they have that they can play. It always takes a bit longer until they can play. I don't even think they can participate in the beta. But just overall, to give more time, especially the Steam Cloud stuff where people just had all of their stuff constantly reset, give it a bit more time. There's no rush. Now, next one of the new mechanics is mostly for players who simply enjoy playing the game even when there's nothing left to unlock, so please don't feel like you have to grind for these new bonuses. Yes, I said this a very long time ago, what I want to see in the game is something that is not a power-up, that is something like permanent bonuses, and this is just a fancy way of saying it's power-ups 2.0, where you pay like 10 times the amount. Probably nowadays you need to pay 100 times the amount, given I'm at like 4 or 5 million gold right now, where you can just sink in all of your money. You actually don't need this. I want to see a way to easily turn them off by just ticking a box that says use them or don't use them. Because otherwise it will be a bit difficult, you know, to always, if you want to participate in the leaderboard, right? There will probably be a rule that says you don't have to, or you're not allowed to use them, because otherwise people have to grind a billion amount of gold. So we don't want that. You don't want to constantly switch around between using them, not using them, using them, not using them. But that is amazing. That will mean all the amount of gold that you have currently can be invested, and I hope it comes down to something like 20 million gold or so. That would be great. Future content unlocks and achievements will still be unbalanced on the, okay, this is normal, on the vanilla character stats and power-ups, and so will not expect to have accumulated any of the new bonuses. What? Future content unlocks and achievements will still be unbalanced on the vanilla character stats and power-ups, and so will not expect you to have accumulated any of these new bonuses. I think what he tries to say is that they are balanced around the basic characters that you have in the game. So the more severe characters like Leda, like Pugnala and stuff like this, they are not taken into consideration yet. And that means on them it will just be utterly broken. This is how I understand this, I might be wrong. And curse excluded, I'm still not sure what that really means. Okay, whatever is coming, I can't wait to see it. I'll do all the update videos in the future. I hope you enjoyed this little insight, and see you the next time.